Holy cow, all right. Welcome to Barrels and Bark. I'm Zach, and you're tuning in to What's in the Bag Wednesday. My wife has poured a sample for me, put this mystery bottle in this bag, and my job is to try to guess what's in there as well as rank it and what I think of it. So let's jump right in here and test it out. Let's give it a little nose here. Right off the bat, great flavor, sweet, super strong. Get a lot of caramel and corn, almost like a caramel, not quite cinnamon roll, but maybe a caramel roll with vanilla frosting. Little oak on the back end there, fairly strong ABV. Definitely has a good oak smell to it here. Coats the glass decently. Color here is probably a little bit of a kind of a darker amber. It's not super dark, but not super light. I get a little bit of raspberry. Maybe a raspberry or a fruit, like a red fruit. Really good smell. I would say I would give this a really good rating as far as nose. Let's go in for a little sip here. Right off the bat, super sweet, super caramely. You get a lot of that tingle of the oak. It's definitely, excuse me. I would definitely say that this has probably a little bit of an older bottle here. It has definitely that oak influence. It has that kind of what I consider when you get something that has a little bit of more oak influence, you get like that little bit of tingle on the side of your mouth. It's not a rye tingle, but definitely more of kind of the oak tannin. But it's really, really sweet. Really, really coating. Good flavor. It's not super strong ABV. I would say it's probably at least 100, but not much more than 100 or 105 would be pushing it. I would guess it's probably in that 100. If I were to guess here, it's probably a Bottled and Bond. That's kind of the one I kind of get a good 100 proof version of that. Great smell, great sweetness. Going for another sip. Man, I love the way this thing coats. Great finish, great mouthfeel. It has kind of that caramely sweetness, like I said, but also very oily up front. It gives you, just coats your mouth right away. Your tongue, your whole entire mouth just covers it really nicely. Again, I think this one is definitely in that 100 proof. Definitely has a good oak influence. Has that nice bite, that nice spice on the back end. Not a rye spice, but definitely more of an oak spice. Has great, I would say, fruity sweetness with a little bit of that caramel covering. Definitely is an easy drinker, easy sipper, one that you could sit down and drink all night. It's not super strong, but it's strong enough that it definitely has that punch there. And so, again, I would say my guess would be a Bottled and Bond. It doesn't fall in line with, I would say, the Jim Beam line, the Knob Creek. Doesn't have that nuttiness. Doesn't have that Jack Daniel's banana. Definitely doesn't have the Dickel. My guess is it would be kind of that early times, or it would be pepper maybe. Definitely not. Don't think it's in that Buffalo Trace line. I was thinking Henry McKenna, maybe Henry McKenna, but probably my guess would be early times or the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. So let's go in for one more sip here. Man, I love the sweetness and the mouthfeel. That would give, to me, that would right off the bat gives it a ton of points. And so if I were to rate this out of 10, I'd probably put this at 7.75. It's not quite an 8 because the finish is a little, it kind of turns more of that tannin oak bitterness. But man, the sweetness up front, the oiliness, the mouth coating, the caramel, the red fruit, with that nice ABV, I think is around that 100 mark, is a great bottle. All right, so let's see if I was anywhere near close to guessing what this bottle is. Let's check it out. Holy cow, all right. Well, I got the Bottled and Bond right. Completely off with the George Dickel. I did not get any of that mineral. Now, I would say, again, I think the George Dickel Bottled and Bond, this is the age 13 years, and the 15 year are two that I don't get a lot of that mineral taste. This definitely gives a lot more of that caramely sweetness of Bottled and Bond. 13 years definitely has that oak influence. Again, I know some of you are not a big George Dickel fan, but I think the Bottled and Bond Blue Label 13 year is one of my top, right up there with almost a daily sipper, like I said. I love the mouthfeel, I love the sweetness, and I love that little bit of oak on the back end. There you have it. George Dickel Bottled and Bond was our What's in the Bag Wednesday. Have a great day, and join us next week as we see what's in the next week's bag and guess.